Hi everyone. Today we are going to solve a simple but interesting array problem. We need to count how many elements are strictly greater than the average of all previous elements. So first let's understand the example. We have this array. Okay. Here we will first skip the first element because there is no previous element. Okay. For 200, sum of the previous elements is 100 because this is the only element, and the average is also 100 because this is the only element. So is 200 greater than 100? Yes. So we will count this element. Okay. So for 150, sum of the previous elements is 200 plus 100, which is 300. Average is 300 by 2, which is 150. Is 150 greater than 150? No. For 300, the sum of the previous elements is 450. 450 divided by 3, which is 150. Is 300 greater than 150? Yes. So there are two elements. Okay. 200 and 300. Okay. So now first let's think about how we would solve this problem. Okay. So the naive approach is what we do is, let's first hold a count. Okay. Then loop through the array. Okay. So we are starting from index 1. We are not considering index 0 because this will be skipped because there is no previous element. Okay. So we are doing that. Okay. Let sum is equal to 0. So what we need to do is, for each element we need to count the sum of the previous elements. So how we are going to do that? So we will be doing this. We will loop through all the elements, all the previous elements from the current element. Okay. And we will just keep on adding. So sum plus equal to array of element. Okay. So now we need to calculate the average. So let's calculate the average. Average is equal to sum divided by I, because I is the index of element, so which is the number of elements before that element. Okay. So now we will check if array of element is greater than average, so then we will increase the count. Okay. So at the end we will just log the output like console.log number of elements equal to this. So let's just run this example. Okay. So not console, sorry. So number of elements are 2. Okay. So let's consider that like we have so many elements. Okay. The given array has a lot of element. Okay. So what we are doing here is we are running a loop inside a loop. Okay. Okay. This will increase the complexity. Okay. So although this solution is good, like it will work, you will get the answer. Okay. But I want you guys to teach how we can optimize it. Okay. So let's just check the array. Okay. When we loop through the array, so when we are at index 1, which is the element 200, we already have tracked the previous elements, right? So why we can't just keep the sum of the previous elements? So let's just optimize it. Okay. So I will just make a sum. So initial the sum will be array of the first element because we are not going to consider this element in the loop because it will be skipped. Okay, so now I'm just going to do that. Okay, so now we are at this index, this element. Okay, so here we already have the sum of the previous elements, which is the 100. Okay, so we can already calculate the average. Const average is equal to sum divided by I. Okay, so we can check if current element is greater than the average, so we will consider this element. Okay, and but before returning here, okay, now we need to update the sum because this element is already processed in this loop. Okay, so when we go process this element, the sum must hold all these elements, the sum of all these elements, previous elements. Okay, so we will just update it, sum plus equals to current array element. Okay, see, so if we run this, then the same thing. Okay, okay, not count, we will still get the same answer. Okay, but what we have optimized here now, in this optimization approach, we are not using a loop inside a loop. So if you see this clearly, we have reduced the complexity, we have reduced the, like it will be just one for loop. With one for loop we can calculate this. Okay, so yeah, so this was my intention, you guys to teach. Okay, so there are multiple ways to solve the problem. Okay, my intention is that you should check what would be the optimized approach to solve this problem. Okay, so that's it, guys. Thank you so much. If you enjoyed this style of explanation, so subscribe for more problem solving videos focused on reasoning and optimization. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.